Hi everyone, this is Claudine Helmuth and I am here to show you how to put together my Sweet Treats train kit. So this is what the engine car of the train looks like, and you can open it up from the bottom here. So you could put favors or little gifts even in this part of the kit. And then the rest of the kit has 3 cargo cars. So we've got blue, pink, and yellow, and one side is just plain. The other side has a little bow garland on it, and as you can see here, you can put eggs and jelly beans and treats inside. You can name the side of your cargo cars whatever you want. There's edible text for this, and you can also put cupcakes in the cargo cars, which looks totally cute, and then you could name it something like the Cupcake Express or something like that. It would be really fun. You could also put little gifts in here, whatever you like, so you can put whatever you want in your little train. It'd be great for birthday parties, of course Easter and spring, but also just for a fun, whimsical table display with cookies and treats and candies inside. So let me show you how to put it together. So when you first download and print out your kit, this is what it's going to look like. This is what the cargo cars look like. And as you can see here, I've already filled in this text, but you'll be able to change the text on all the cargo cars to whatever you want to say right there in the PDF. So this is just the pink cargo car. There's also blue yellow in your kit, and then this is what the train engine car looks like. So this is one page, and then this is the second page. So it's 2 pages for the train engine car, and this is what we're going to start on first. We're going to want to cut around all of the outer edges, and I want to point out here to you, there are little dots in here, and then going up to each line there. You're going to want to cut in on those dots, and then also on the second page there are dots right here all the way to here, and I'll point those out as I'm cutting them out. So first I'm just going to start cutting around all of the perimeter. Now just a couple cutting tips. So on this part of the train car, make sure that you cut in from there to there. There's a big dot at the end where you're supposed to stop, but also cut in on these lines here. Let me zoom in to make sure that you can see. So from there to the big dot there. So that will make flaps that will fold up. And then also on these little tabs here, what I like to do just to speed things along is cut a rounded edge there, and then you don't have to cut each one of these tabs out perfectly. You can just simply make little kind of triangles here to cut them out in the general area. So don't feel like you have to cut them out perfectly. All this is going to do is make it fold on that curve nicer. So you do want a few little cuts in there, and then you can just pull these out like that. And so it's not exactly on the lines, but it's close enough, and then that'll speed the cutting along for you. So now that I have everything cut out, all of my pieces, I'm going to set aside the cargo car and the little steam pipes. We'll do those in a little bit, and we're just going to work on the engine car for right now. Now, what we need to do next, now that absolutely everything has been cut out, and again, on this piece, I cut in on the dotted lines from there to the large dot there. And now we need to score all of these dotted lines on here. And so to do that, I like to work on a pad, like a legal pad here. You could also use an old catalog. I've done that as well in some of my videos. That adds just the nice, right amount of cushion to get a good score. And I use my ruler and I line it up with the dotted line, and then I take a pen that has no ink in it. I actually removed the ink from this pen. You could also use a dried up ballpoint pen. Just make sure it's not going to write anymore. And then I line up my ruler, making sure that my pen is going to be right on the dotted line. And then I just draw with my pen. And you'll see it makes a nice indentation there that you can bend the paper on without it cracking. Now, to do the arch pieces, we're going to want to just draw along the dotted line with our pen. So that's not too hard. You just kind of follow the dotted line. But you want to do that so that you'll get a nice fold on all of these dotted lines. Now that everything has been scored, I just fold it over. And for some of the pieces that are going to be arched, I like to kind of warm up the paper and not fold it, but just arch it, especially for this front piece. So you want to really gently kind of work it a little bit so that it will have a nice arch to it, but you have to be careful because otherwise it can get a dent in it as well. So you just kind of want to go like that to warm up the paper, and that way it will make a nicer front arch for your train. And then on these pieces here, you'll want to fold those down, and you just kind of work along the folded edge there, making sure that those are nicely down and you have a nice smooth edge. And then these pieces, these are going to fold up. We don't really need to fold them up too vigorously at this point because once it's all together, you'll see we'll be able to fold them up from the inside. And then just make sure that you double check that you've got all your folds, because a couple times I've tried to put together things and I have forgotten to score an edge, and then oops, I have to try to figure out a way to score it right in the middle of assembling it. For these little pieces, if you want them to meet nicer with the dotted line, you can just press with your fingernails so that you get a nice smooth edge there. Now we need to add adhesive to all of the lettered tabs, and I have a little workaround for some of these top tabs. I'll show you here in a second. So what I like to use for my adhesive is I like to use a tape gun, and there's all kinds of brands for these kind of tape guns, and if you're doing a lot of paper construction, this will just make your life so much easier. You can also use double stick tape, you can use glue stick, but for this I'm going to use this because it's so easy and fast. So all I'm going to do is on my lettered tabs, just add tape to all of those. And then let me show you the little extra trick so that we're not adding tape to all of these little tabs. What I like to do is add tape to the back side of this piece and this piece. So right along here and here. So that's the back side of the pink striped piece. And then right along here and here, which is the back side of the front engine piece. And then that way, that is going to stick to those tabs without me needing to apply adhesive to lots of little tiny tabs there. So I'm going to make sure that I've got adhesive on all of these lettered tabs. The only ones that I'm not applying adhesive to are these bottom pieces. So I just need to do this one, and then we are going to be ready to start assembling. So for the first step, now that everything has tape on it, the first step is we need to combine these two pieces. So I'm just going to line it up with the dotted line here and make sure it's got nice and even, and make sure it's even along here, along the bottom. And just press it down. So now we've just got one big giant piece, and now I'm going to take this piece here with the front window and this side. Let me fold this out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got this piece here with the front window and then this side over here, and I'm just going to make sure that those meet up. And a little trick that I like to do is I like to hold down the tab and then line up the piece. And when I've got it exactly where I want it, then I release the tab and press. So that way I don't get it crooked by accident or something like that. So now we've got that part, and then we're going to take tab B, which is the front piece, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up here. So now we're going to fold up the bottom because this is going to make it all nice and square for us. So I'm just going to fold up the bottom and get that in there. So now you can kind of see how that's coming together. So now we're going to do the roof of this part. And what I like to do is just make sure that all those tabs are down and out of our way. We'll push them into the adhesive in a second. And I'm just going to take the roof part and place it in, and just making sure that it's all lining up nicely. Make sure that that dotted line meets there. And then just press it down into all of the tabs. And at this point, you may need to open it back up again and just reach in there and press from the inside so you can press and get the tabs to fit nicely. Yep, that looks pretty good. So here I've got a little gap, but I'm just going to press from the inside and the top. And that is all nice and secure now. So now we've got to do the same thing on the front piece. So again, we're going to press all these away. We're not going to worry about these quite yet. They can kind of hang out there. And then we are going to fold this over. And I like to hold this in. Hold on. Okay, here. This is a better angle for you guys. I like to kind of hold this in so that the adhesive isn't going to press against the side of the train car until I've got it where I want it. So that way, okay, I got that all lined up how I want it, and then I'm going to let go. And then I'm going to press from the inside there for the front. And then I'm going to reach inside here. And you can see these little tabs. I'm just going to press those down into the adhesive. You can't see because my hand's in the way, but you get the idea. I'm going to press those down. There we go, into the adhesive. And then I can just kind of play for a second to make sure I've got good adhesion in the front, because that's the most important part, is we want that nice and rounded. And then I can just fold up now this is great little treat box here as well. And then I can just fold this up. And now we've got our little train engine car. That looks really, really cute. And now let's add the steam pipes to it. So that really finishes off the train engine car. So we've got a small little steam pipe and a large one. So I'm going to show you on the large one just so that it's easier for me to show you, but they both assemble the same way. You're going to want to cut into all of these little lines here, and then you are going to want to score all the way around. So let me get my scoring materials to show you. So again, just like on the train, you're going to want to draw around the circle. So this is going to make it score nicely on a circle, and then you're going to score these lines that are going to fold up. And since they're so short, you don't even really have to get out your ruler. You can just draw across them. Okay, so it's all scored, and I've gone ahead and added the adhesive. So you want to add adhesive to these tabs as well as tab A, and then instead of adding, just similar to the train, instead of adding adhesive to all of these little tabs, I add one long line of adhesive to the back right along there. And then we're going to just fold over all of these little tabs here, and the more time that you spend on this, the nicer the top of your little steam pipe will be, the more circle. You can also take your fingernail and kind of press in where the little corners come up, so you can really spend as much time or as little time on it as you want. So you get all those down. Okay, so now we are going to start assembling it. So we fold this down, and again, just like with the top of the train, you want to kind of warm this paper. You want to make sure not to crease it, but you want to kind of bend it. It's just going to make it so much easier to turn it into a little steam pipe if you kind of get it so that it's a little bit bendy. But you have to be a little bit careful, because otherwise you can get a little dent in it. So now we're just going to start with the edge and go around, just adding. So you're just rolling it around like that. And then as you go, kind of make sure you've got it nice and secure. And then you do the same with the other side. And then once you get to where tab A is, you can just go ahead and overlap. There we go. So that looks pretty good. And then what you'll do is you'll fold these little tabs in. And you can fuss with it. I fuss with these things a lot. This is kind of the fun part, is really just getting it exactly how you want it. And then you'll put those tabs in, and then that's what's going to stick to your train. So I kind of like to have the seam towards the windows so that you don't see the seam as much. And then you're going to place that on there and hold that down so that it's nice and secure. And then you can see here is how it looks with both of them. So I think that little one just adds that extra finishing touch to it. Now, keep watching, because I'm going to show you how to put together the cargo car. So to finish off our train, we of course want a cargo car. So you can make all your cargo cars pink, you could make them all yellow, you could make them all blue, or you could do one of each color. But they all go together the same. I've already gone ahead and cut this out and scored all of these lines. So I'm just going to start to fold it in. Now the one thing that is different about the cargo car are these lines on the inside fold up. So this folds up. This folds up over here, and then, so this folds down and up. So you'll see here in a second. So it'll kind of make like a little tray like that. So pretty simple. And then that. So it's all folded because I pre-scored it. So now we're going to just add a little bit of adhesive. So I'm going to add adhesive to the back of these pieces right here. And then to tab A and B. And then here's tab B. So now you're going to fold over whichever tab you want to start with first, tab A or B, and you want to make sure that you really kind of push that up and hold it. The first one is the trickiest, so you want to get it. Can you see there? Yes. So there we go. Get that lined up. There we go. And then we're going to stick tab B. So I've gone ahead and stuck that side to that side. And now I'm going to do the same over here. So get tab A in place. And I'm going to hold down that little flap until I've got it right where I want it, and then just press that into place. So then there's my cargo car. So on the one side, it's got the little garland, and then on the other side, you can add your little cargo car name plate, and these are editable in the PDF, so you can make that say whatever you want. You can make it say your kids' names. You could make it say whatever you want. I like Cupcake Express if it's carrying cupcakes, or you could do it Easter themed or whatever the theme of your party is. So now that your cargo cars are complete, you can add your eggs, candies, treats, even cupcakes. Put your cute little engine car at the front, and your sweet treats train is complete.